Folks, welcome back to another collective reading. Something to keep in mind with these readings is that if it resonates for you, wonderful. If it doesn't, please leave it for someone else for it to resonate with. Today I am using, I bumped the table. I am using the Light Seers Tarot, and I've arranged your cards in a Celtic cross formation. We have a serious discussion to get to today. Your central theme is the Ten of Wands. It's in reverse. This is an incredibly heavy burden, that you don't think you're going to be able to finish carrying up that particular hill. You don't think you're going to make it. This is weighing on your shoulders. This is destroying you. This has weighed you down to the point that you are at a standstill. You are stagnant. You are overwhelmed with how much you have to do, with what you can't do, what is out of your power. You are overwhelmed. You feel like you're trapped, like there's no way out of your particular situation. Folks, this is your crossing card. This tells me a little bit more about what's going on with your situation. The challenge right now, and by the way, the Tower card is pointing towards your future, or the upright, or the top part, I should say, is pointing towards your future, okay? What that tells me is that currently you're going through a moment where everything is being destroyed. A foundation, not just the building, is coming down. The foundation is being torn up too. You're going to be forced to start over from this point on, but you're definitely going to need to have a time period of healing after this Tower moment is over. Right now, you're just trying to keep your head above water, and it feels like it's not working. You're completely out of balance. You're completely out of whack. This is what I see in your subconscious position. This is the Two of Pentacles. This is not being able to take care of your body. This is quite possibly your finances spinning out of control because you're spending money in one particular direction when ideally it should be going in another direction entirely. You're not able to take care of your material being the same way that you're always able to. And I also sense that there's a lack of playfulness with this particular card. You're not able to get into a mindset where you're able to just have fun. And by the way, we are currently in Mercury retrograde in Leo. So this season is going to be encouraging you to be playful, to relax and have fun. But I don't feel like that is something that's even remotely in the orbit of your mind right now. I feel like you are under such deep stress right now from this particular situation ending. And by the way, you know that whatever is going on here, it's over. That this is something that you cannot avoid. This Tower fall was something that was unexpected. Maybe you kind of saw some painful stuff coming, but you didn't think it was going to be this bad. You know that this is the end of an era. It's the start of a new one as well. It's going to be up to you to see how you're going to handle this. And you might be asking, what led to all of this to begin with? Well, here in the past, I see an opportunity being offered. It was a material opportunity. It had something to do with making your material body, your physical body, more comfortable. Whatever that was, if that had to do with money, then quite possibly an opportunity to take care of yourself financially was missed. It's possible that this was an opportunity to establish yourself in a different, better context. And it's also quite possible that this opportunity was missed. Something to make your physical body more comfortable was missed. An opportunity for this was missed. Now, we're going to come back to that particular theme in just a second. That's interesting. But here in your future position, you've got the Eight of Swords. This is an option for you, to a mindset, an optional mindset for you to be in. Keep in mind that given your circumstances and how possibly quite traumatic they may be, that it's going to be a whole lot easier to be in this Eight of Swords mindset than it would be then if you felt more in control of your situation. Right now, or in the future, leading into the future, you're going to feel like you are forced to take things one step at a time, to very, very carefully inch your way forward through life. Listen to your intuition and obey it at the drop of a hat when it tells you to get down or to keep going, to keep moving forward. You're going to have to listen to it in the future. This is going to be tightrope walking in the future. It's going to be rough. Once again, an opportunity in the past was missed. Right now, you have an incredibly heavy burden that has you almost completely stagnant. You have too much to do, but you have to do it all. And in the future, there's the real risk that your focus is going to be so narrowed to surviving that you're not going to see some really key clues to getting mentally out of your situation. Okay? This is your advice card. This is to understand that you're going through a very shadowy time period, a very, what's the word? Myopic is something that keeps coming to mind, and I would expect to see that with the Eight of Swords, right? Especially in the reverse position. It didn't come out in the reverse position, by the way, but with the moon, it's about not seeing things clearly. And definitely with the Eight of Swords, she's blindfolded. It's to keep in mind that your emotions, your feelings about this particular situation are absolutely clouding how you perceive everything, and that might be part of the myths, the lies that this particular entity in the Eight of Swords believes. It might be that their emotions are clouding things so heavily. This might also be a water sign that I'm speaking to, such as I was about to say Taurus. You could be a Taurus, but this would be a Scorpio, a Pisces, or a Cancer. Okay, so keep that in mind. It's not going to be easy to see clearly. This is also a time when you're, again, going to have to use your intuition in order to move forward. This is going to be a time where you're going to need to come back into contact with the universe, go back onto your spiritual path if you weren't there already. And you're not going to need to do the shadow work on yourself that will help you reflect on the past and see what you can do to learn lessons about it and move on into the future. This is your outcome, okay? So this is regret and struggling to move on from your regrets, kind of languishing in them. There's the real risk that you could continue to be blinded by your emotions, by your feelings around the situation. And keep in mind that we need our feelings, we need our emotions. But when they overwhelm us, when they rule us, that's when we run into problems, okay? So this card is to signal that you need to be aware of when your feelings and your emotions cloud your judgment, when they are overwhelming the other aspects of you, such as your mind, such as your ability to motivate yourself to do things and to ground yourself too. But you also need to be aware that your emotions may blind you to how you languish, continue to live in regret, well past the point that spirit, that source, the universe, wants you to live in regret. They don't want you to live in regret at all. They want you to keep moving forward, but I do definitely sense that with this particular card, that it's potentially going to be difficult for you to move forward. Spirit is asking you to listen to it while you're going through this particular moment right here, that this is difficult, okay? Things are ending, and it's a pretty crazy, upending, even violent end for some. Please take that as it resonates, okay? Please look to spirit, to your deities, to your ancestors during this time, and allow them to guide you because you absolutely need it. The upside of the moon is that you're in a deeply watery state, and that's one of the best states that you can be in if you're going to be in your intuition. The thing is that all the sweets in tarot are deeply intuitive, but in different ways. Water most especially because it communicates stuff so easily, like electricity, for instance, and that's just an example, but it's like communication, those kinds of things. Water is very good about communicating stuff very quickly. So is air. And I wonder if you're not overthinking things greatly in the future, if you don't have the risk of overthinking everything in the future. And mindfulness, learning mindfulness will be a great asset to you now and in the future. The thing is, there are a number of excellent videos on YouTube that are great for beginners in learning how to practice mindfulness and in a way that works for them, right? Little baby steps are a great way to enter into the world of not allowing your mind to overwhelm and control you. The same for your emotions, or even for your unwillingness. Let's say, for instance, you're an earth sign. It might be much more comfortable to stay in a rut and not move forward, and mindfulness will allow you to stay grounded while still allowing for change. That doesn't mean that change it always feels great. It doesn't always feel great, in fact. But that doesn't mean that you can't be grounded while it happens, okay? This is your current environment. Now, this is interesting. This is what I said earlier, that we would come back to this particular theme. In the past, you were offered an opportunity to leave a particular situation. It was a new one. Now, it's interesting. Here comes the Page of Pentacles. You're being offered, once again, a new opportunity from the universe to grow yourself into, eventually, the King of Pentacles. There is no gender in tarot. What the King of Pentacles ultimately becomes is someone who knows when to invest, when to spend, when to save, and how to teach other people to do the same. They're a very grounded person. They are deeply in their emotions. They feel them, but they don't allow them to overwhelm the moment, right? So this is, if you're willing to take the opportunity, this is the start of a new journey towards true material security. And that might not even be with finances. I don't know what your particular situation may be, but if you could have material stability, if you could start that process right now, even while you're still in a tremendous amount of pain, while you're going through this death experience, the end of an era, right? And possibly an abrupt and violent end of an era, then you definitely owe it to yourself to eventually start this process of growing into this. I understand that you're going through a traumatic situation. Can you keep that in mind, though, and grow into that mindset? Even if you start at a later date, if you keep it on the back burner, that's a baby step that you can take, I would hope. This is your last card. This is your hopes and your fears. You're afraid of moving forward. This is air on air energy. This is the Knight of Swords. This is someone who thinks and who moves fast, who speaks, who lets their voice loose loudly if that's what needs to happen. This is someone who thinks quickly on their feet and goes and gets away quickly when it's time to get away. You don't have to carry this burden. The Tower moment will still affect you. Death will still affect you. The end of an era, I should say. Exactly, the end of an era will still affect you, but you don't have to carry this burden. You can let this go. This is just as much as a signal to let this go, let the burden go, as it is to say you are overburdened here, and it's time to let it fall away from you. As painful as that moment might be, you weren't expecting to have to be faced with this choice, but you need to make the healthiest one in this moment so that you can move into your best and your highest good and not into this particular energy. Folks, no more from me. I am sorry that you're going through this, but I hope that you make the best of it. I hope that you start down a new spiritual path because of it. And I hope that you choose the very healthiest options for you. Thank you for listening to this point. I respect that this might have been a difficult lesson, a difficult message for you to listen to. And I respect that. Take care.